Warning, don't listen if it's a podcast you want. This is a Chumcast. Just your basic gabfest among chums. A little news, some entertainment, an annoying opinion or two, and, if you're lucky, maybe even a chuckle.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
So it's time to buckle up. Whetstone Entertainment, in association with Is Chill Productions, presents Don't Listen, a basic Chumcast. And here are your hosts, Big Red and the Shebs.
Remember, everyone, just don't be yourselves.
It's go time.
Showtime.
Fire it up.
Oh my God, here we go again. It's the third episode of the premiere season of the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. I'm Big Red. I'm kicking back with the Shebs inside our Waterdog Lake studios.
Waterdog Lake. There's something for the peninsula, right?
Shake your water dog.
Waterdog.
So, again, we grew up on the peninsula in San Mateo County, just outside of San Francisco, California. And in Belmont, there was this beautiful lake hidden in the hills of Belmont. We called it Waterdog Lake. And as a kid, one of the first things, we would hike up there. So one of the things that I remember is the rope swing. There was a rope swing that hung from a tree that hung kind of over the little miniature lake. It's not a big lake, miniature little lake.
Created by a dam. There's like a dam there.
Yeah, created by a dam. And I remember hippies. My dad would never let us go up there by ourselves, right? So it was always me, my brother, and my dad, and a friend or whatever. And there would always be these hippies with the cut-off jeans.
Yeah, it's where bad people hung out.
Supposedly, but they were just having a good time, right? They were just smoking a little weed and, drinking some beers and, getting cooling off in that disgusting lake. I mean, it looked like there were bacon bits all over the top of it.
Yeah.
It was never looked like I was not doing the rope swing.
Right. It was right below Ralston Junior High School, right? And so you come out of elementary school, you become a seventh grader, your first time going to this junior high, and now they're PE. You're going there. Okay, we're running, and they're running, and they're sending you like off campus down into these hills, and it's like, as a seventh grader, timid still, I'm still feeling my way through life. It
was spooky.
It was spooky, all of a sudden. I didn't know where I was going. I'm trying to follow people and stuff,
And there are hidden trails basically everywhere.
All created by deer, right? So they had, it was just.
Yeah. And you're talking about like one of the things that I can remember is finding, mattresses and old broken down cars were there. Cigarette packages, beer cans.
And remember, junior high is where you get out of the elementary school, and this is where cliques first start to form, right? And this is where the stoners make their first appearance, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're always going down to Waterdog Lake, to
smoke out.
Smoke out, It's like, I'm going down there. There's stoners down there.
Right. That was the spot, right? I mean, for stoners, that was kind of the spot.
Yeah. Right off campus, and you could hide and just...
We always found so much interesting stuff there. We always found porno magazines. We always found, mattresses was the weirdest thing, and clothing and...
Well, until you become an adult, then you realize how hard it is to get rid of mattresses. So we say, no wonder why people are dumping them everywhere.
Oh yeah, duh. I thought it was the hippies that were spending the night up there. I mean, there were people that I knew of, kids that I knew of that were sneaking out of their houses that were going up there and spending the night there, partying, right? So Waterdog Lake definitely has a history with us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that it's so centrally located here on the peninsula. A lot of kids, a lot of hiking, a lot of bikers, a lot of crazy shit was going on at Waterdog Lake.
Yes. And yes, absolutely.
I remember there were huge pipes, right? So that lake would fill up, and then there were pipes that would drain down into the valley of Belmont. And I can remember we would get into those pipes, and we would be, exploring the pipes. How did we not get killed? Like, there was so much grime and moss and crap all over those pipes. We didn't care.
No, that's the joy of our youth, and lack of parental oversight.
It's all about living.
it is all about living. And I'm sure we're going to hear from our one fan in the Indianapolis, Indiana area.
Oh, yeah.
Mindy.
Mindy.
Yeah, for really spending a lot of time on Waterdog Lake. She's fascinated, I'm sure.
I think she's our first authentic stalker. Like, they've gotten messages from her all over the place.
No, she's actually nice. I think it's what's her name? Stacy from Gilroy's is the stalker.
I don't know.
Mindy is corresponding nicely.
They don't even let the guys from Whetstone. They are very protective over any sort of emails or contacts that we get. Right. I'm still fighting that battle with our production group and with these millennials that think that it's like a big deal, like it's going to hurt my feelings or something to hear that someone doesn't like me. I think
the sucky emails that say we suck are interesting, and I think they're trying to keep those to a minimum from us seeing those.
The one thing that I do appreciate about the Whetstone people and also the Is Chill production group, they do, besides the great research that they do and the help that they give us with writing all this stuff, is the fact that they took the time to get a little bit creative and to actually decorate the Waterdog Lake Studios today with Chinese spy balloons.
Yeah.
I'm not really comfortable being spied on, but if you're going to be spied on, you got to put on a show.
There are a couple Mylar balloons here, yes.
I mean, they're all over the place. So I don't know what got into them.
All China had to do was write "Happy Birthday" on that balloon, and you know what I mean, in big letters. It doesn't matter the size. Then there we go. Oh, it's just a balloon that got away from some kid's party.
So let's just say thanks to the kids at Whetstone and our producers at Is Chill for all the research and and the patience that they've shown with us.
And they're showing up again.
They are showing, and there's no food today, so we're very pleased about that. But the most pleasing thing, I mean, we're kind of pioneering this relationship with these bunch of people that think they're professionals, producers and writers and all these people we have in here. But really, we gotta actually voice our thanks to the people who listened, the number of people who have listened to our first couple of Chumcasts and the amount of feedback that they have sent us. I mean, honest feedback.
It's probably the biggest thing that surprised me of how bad we actually are, and actually how many people are actually listening and sending in emails and stuff. It's kind of and majority are granted the Bay Area, but there's they're bouncing all over the country right now. Actually, we got one from Mexico.
Did we? I think we got one from Mexico, and maybe a week or two ago, we're getting them from Canada as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So the beauty of streaming, right?
Well, road trip. We have to take the show on the road at some point. Maybe in season 2, we'll have to go on a road trip, and go to Indianapolis and say hello to Mindy.
That would be fun. Maybe we could get a sponsor that would give us like a first class seat on a 787 Dreamliner, nonstop.
Yes, amateur.
I'm not picky.
No, but no, that's now we'll have to see how that goes. We'll see if Whetstone pays for that ticket.
So if you guys are checking us out for the first time, it is the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. It's a show about nothing and everything, all rolled up into one big clusterfuck.
And we know we suck. So we just say, this is for us. We tell you, don't listen. It's in the name of the show. Don't listen.
We can't make it any more plain.
But if you're all about getting some torture, yeah, turn the volume up.
Come on in. But if we were you, we would destroy the device. We wouldn't just unplug it. We would destroy the device. There is no algorithm here. There is no list. There's no category, except if wherever you go to check out your podcast, if you check out the Just Suck list, we're probably at the top of that list. So hello and welcome. Coming up on today's show, on today's Chumcast, we gotta continue to make sure that we set ourselves apart from the competition.
It's not a show. It's not a podcast. It's a Chumcast.
We got to continue with that. It's so difficult. And these spy balloons are picking up everything. The Chinese spy balloons in here are actually picking up everything. And they're probably, the people at Whetstone have probably tipped them off about are classified documents.
Yes, that's what they're looking for.
I'm holding the classified documents right now.
There's one hovering over the fishbowl right now.
So I'm excited. I mean, we're going to unveil a new segment today called One Bad Mutha.
Oh, a new segment.
A new segment.
Oh, this is exciting.
One Bad Mutha. It's even more exciting when it's Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th that we're going to be discussing.
Well, that's nice.
Some very interesting tidbits about Jason that you probably didn't know. More Cowbell is our 80s segment. We're talking about the raunchiest 80s films, those comedies that we didn't care how good or bad those movies were. If they were showing tits and ass and making crude jokes, we were going. And the shock in the research that we got from those is that those movies, like Porky's, were big money makers. But
yeah, where else were you gonna? Yeah, that's where you went to see boobs. If you're a teenager, that's where you went and saw boobs.
But they're not gonna ever get made again. Those days are over. We're old.
They're over. Yeah.
So those are a couple of segments that are coming up straight ahead that should really shake your moneymaker. But also, we got the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka coming up. That's a random topic that we've researched. We'll figure that out a little bit later. And right now, it's all about a pretty fun segment. You know, on this day in history.
On this day in history.
We got sponsors. It's brought to you by Taco Town today.
Oh, Taco Town. There you go. If you're in town, have some tacos.
You don't have to tell me to have stuff. Tacos are like, if I was on a desert island, I think I'd be going with tacos.
Well,
if I could choose one meal, it might be tacos.
Well, after this, let's go to Fernando's.
Taco Town.
Taco Town.
Keep screwing up the sponsors. No wonder these guys keep threatening us with canceling.
It's okay, but it's in the same food genre. It's okay.
Yeah, that's what you think. Buckle up, because it's time for On This Day in History, and it's a biggie.
Oh, it's a biggie? Okay.
Yeah. In 1992, they sentenced Jeffrey Dahmer, that crazy-ass, weird mofo, to 15 consecutive life sentences for murdering all those people in Wisconsin.
Are you sure he was that bad, or just wasn't? He was maybe a bit misunderstood.
Oh, he was a bit I didn't understand him. Do you understand him?
Why did he get 15 life sentences when he killed, I think, 17 people? They couldn't prove the other two?
I don't know. How many did he kill?
I think 17.
17. I don't know. Those things, I'm not into the whole true crime thing.
All right.
But you couldn't really avoid hearing about Jeffrey Dahmer when it was going on. To me, the mind-boggling thing is it was that long ago, 1992 on this day. Right? That, I mean, you think about the DNA that we have now, and there's no more serial killer, right? They have to mass shoot because they now have DNA evidence that, nails all these guys, right? So Jeffrey Dahmer didn't last. I think once he got sentenced to the 15 years, 15 consecutive life.
It was like less than 2 years before he was killed in prison. Yeah.
By somebody, right?
And a fellow, an inmate, yeah.
An inmate. So the thing is, right, with these child killers or, they hate them.
Yeah.
They go to prison and they're even hated there.
Yeah.
Right? So I think the world is a little bit better place. I mean, I certainly would have liked to have seen in a perfect world. I would have liked to have seen a guy like Jeffrey Dahmer had rehabilitated his life, possibly. But we don't live in that kind of a world. And I think the world is a better place without people like that.
Right.
Obviously, right? So that was On This Day in History, and it was brought to you by our friends at Taco Town.
Turn off, walk away, and don't look back.
Haters love this shit. This is how we party.
Just a bunch of time. We'll never get back. Don't listen.
It's time to buckle up
I am buckled up.
because it's going to get real.
For real this time?
For reals. Welcome back. It is the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. I am Big Red, joined with my longtime buddy, the Shebs, inside the Waterdog Lake studios. You got to stick around because coming up in just a little bit, we're going to babble about the 80s again in our More Cowbell segment. We're going to talk about the raunchy 80s films, those comedies like Porky's, Hot Dog the Movie. That's coming up a little bit later. Also, by the way, I need to mention this, is we've got a segment called Holla.
Oh, yes.
And this segment is actually being brought to you by our friends at the Vinyl Solution Records. That's down on 25th Avenue
Oh, yeah?
in San Mateo. Yeah. This is all about your comments. So you can go to our website, the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast.com. Wait, Don't Listen Chumcast.com.
Don't listen chumcast.com. That's
Okay.
right.
God,
we are a basic chumcast, but yeah.
Did you see the guys from Leadstone over there just completely flip their lids when I
Yeah.
screwed that up?
Yeah.
Dude, like, it's a podcast, man. There's not supposed to be any pressure on me.
Maybe talking about season 2 is a little premature. Yeah.
God. So, yeah, go, give us your commentary. All you have to do is go to the website and hit contact, and we look forward to reading your feedback. They don't tell us all the feedback that we get, but what we're looking for is some honesty.
There's
and
more. It keeps getting. There's more than it was that I was expecting.
So hit contact at the website and let us know what you're feeling. So more cowbell, holla. We're going to read those comments coming up a little bit later. Also, we're unveiling One Bad Mutha, which is a brand new segment. We're going to talk about Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. So buckle up.
All right, let's do it.
Dude, I think I was too young to go see Friday the 13th when it came out.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of horror flicks. Yeah.
Really? Oh, I was.
I had a dear friend who was. I would go to them, but yeah, I didn't. Just wrangled me up too much.
Really? Bad nightmares?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a triple feature once. Yeah,
Oh, did you? A triple feature? How much did you pay for that?
it's like $5.
Nice.
It was American Werewolf in London, The Howling, and then Wolfen.
Oh, yeah.
I was done at the end of that stuff.
That's. I don't think I could take.
But you look back at it now, and it's that stuff was all breaking cinematic technology, right? With all the transformations into werewolves and stuff, and now you just look at it and go, oh, okay.
Dramatic pause. See the effectiveness of the dramatic pause?
It just caused me to quiet right up.
Going forward, we're going to be using the dramatic pause. It's going to give us a little bit more credibility, I think. So let's move on to the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka.
Oh yeah, the booyah and the boom shakalaka.
So this is who is sponsoring this today? Who did we sucker into this? Oh, Fit In Gyms. Perfect for you. The Fit In Gyms are sponsoring the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka.
All right. Thank you for sponsoring. I have never heard of you.
Dude, they're not from around here. They're out of, I don't know where they're out of.
They're not local, though.
They just
okay,
pay.
so it's not bad they haven't
They
heard
just
of
pay,
them.
and it's up to the people at Whetstone to, keep up the relations, right? There's a lot of pressure on them for that.
Look, Eric doesn't even know where they're from.
No, he doesn't have any idea.
Maybe that would have been a good thing to actually have.
Eric doesn't know where he is from.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I can see that.
So the Booyah, who's bringing in the fishbowl? So this is a random choice of all these different topics that we have researched. And what do we got?
Hang on. Careful.
There's nobody here.
Yeah, you can.
Except for the Chinese spy
Yeah,
balloons.
there you go. All right, here it is. Got it here. Okay, you want me to draw or you want it here? I'll draw it. Here it is.
Did Emilio I think I just saw him add like 5 different
Emilio.
pieces of paper. Emilio added like 5 different pieces of paper into the fishbowl. Right. So shake it up.
Emilio.
Shake it up and mix it up.
It's actually Marcio, but that's okay.
Whatever his name is, Ilio.
There you go. Take this, guys. Take this. Hey, take this back. There you go. Okay, it's for you. All right, here you go. Big Red.
Okay,
What does it say?
Well, it looks like we're going to go hard charging. There's no more joking around because we're going to talk about, should the U.S. continue to manufacture goods in communist China.
What so
they have all our data. They've got the spy plane, the spy balloons are right here in the studio.
Who created this topic? Talk about, is this supposed to be kind of light and hearty and
I'm not into the game of pointing fingers. I don't play the blame game. I just roll with the punches. I then go with the flow.
All right, let's see how many nights we can ruin by people listening to this and getting to China now.
Well, I need the classified documents.
Yeah.
Can I get the classified Can someone pop one of the spy balloons and give me the classified documents?
I'll give you classified documents. You stop saying that. Jesus.
Well, they're classified and they're headed for the National Archives, from what I understand. Okay. So the question is, this is the correct script. Okay, thank you. So the question here is, do Americans, we are the entitled ones, do Americans really support freedom? That's the question. Do our actions support freedom? So let's take a look at the American corporations and their exposure in China. So you got Boeing, Caterpillar, General Motors, Starbucks. These are biggies. Nike, Ford. These are just some of these humongous American corporations who have continued to support communist labor practices, which are basically slave wages in communist China. So without us, where are they getting their money? Right? And the only reason why we're there is because we're paying them like 10 cents a day. Right? So Ford can come back to Americans and sell their cars for big profits. I think that's where we're going with this. So the profound question coming out of today's Booyah and Boom Shakalaka segment is, do the actions of these American corporations support freedom, or do they actually support slavery of the communist people in China?
Well, and it could be, I would take one more angle on that, is that, having, China needs the U.S. corporations too. It goes both ways. But having that tie to the U.S., but that huge economic tie, does that also prevent war? Does it promote peace? Right? Does it? There's a lot more chips to lose if you're economically tied in with the U.S. Is that stop? Make everybody second guess about invading Taiwan or that kind of stuff, right?
Oh, you're talking about a true partnership.
Yeah, I think there's you have some of these ties, and there's some other ancillary benefits. But I think to your point, I
never thought about that. That's actually a good point. Like having a partnership, kind of going with the flow.
Yeah, I mean, if we had no interaction with China, go back to the the 60s and the 70s, really there was no manufacturing. None of our businesses were doing business, doing stuff in China. Would China has less to lose, right? They can actually make some geopolitical decisions without worrying about the U.S. side.
I got to pose this question to you. So, do we really want to partner up with? I mean, I understand the economics, right? I understand the economics there, right? But do we really want to partner up with a country that is completely polar opposite in every possible way to the American value system, right? We're talking about mass surveillance. They surveil everybody over there. And now they got balloons in our freaking studio, right? So they surveil everybody. They have arbitrary detentions. From what we read, nobody wants to go to jail in China. Nobody. Like if you're going to jail, come on to America, because Russia and China are at the top of do not want to go to jail list, right? And they arbitrarily throw people in detentions there. There's no religious freedom there. They're totally suppressed with their religions. They have forced labor for the state, and they have no reproductive rights. They can have one kid. So even basic human rights are taken from those poor Chinese people.
Yeah, and they recently had a population decline, so I think they're now promoting more than one kid now. They can, right? I don't know. I think there's, by having some sort of ties like this, are you able to influence some of the bad stuff, some of the human rights activities? If we had no ties, would it be worse? So again, I don't think it's not an easy question.
No, it's not. It's perplexing, but for a country with the sort of, ideology that America comes from, in China, it's like polar opposite. And
if I was a business, I would be so careful. I'm not sure if I would. I mean, I would go to another Asian country if I could.
But why not? Why go to another country? Why would we not bring those jobs and manufacture those products? I get it, right? It's basically the labor is so cheap. Like you can't beat it. You're not going to be able to get an American can't feed himself on what the communist Chinese are working for. So I get it. But if we could bring some of that stuff back, ideally, right? If you could bring it back, ideally. But I'll tell you my parents are from North Carolina. I bleed North Carolina Tar Heel blue. Like that is my second home. And to have Michael Jordan's brand, Michael Jordan, the guy I looked up to my entire life. He's been this amazing basketball player. But his brand is so dependent on all of that slave labor. So if we could just talk to Michael Jordan and get him to bring 50% of his product back to America, I mean, I think that could make the Chinese maybe think a little bit about, some things, right? And the other one who's got huge exposure over there is Steve Wynn. Huge exposure. His casinos are huge.
Oh, never would have thought about him.
Yeah. So if we could just get two of these guys to maybe bring some jobs back here, I just think that these two could do a little bit more. They could do a little bit less to support the communist, way of exploiting their people, right? The slave labor, they could make a difference. They're in an opportunity. Win and Jordan are in a position where they could really make a difference, right? They're in that position.
Well, they may just be replaced by somebody else, right? And that's the problem. So you have to try to make something universal across the playing field, right? So if he pulls out, and then you somehow as a government you can't let anybody else back in from a U.S. perspective. You have to it's like term limits.
I can guarantee you that if we had a conversation with Steve Wynn and we said, "Hey, do you like the way the Chinese people are oppressed?" They'd say no. I think Michael Jordan's a pretty good guy.
Everybody would agree with that.
Yeah, I think Michael Jordan's a pretty good guy. Hey, dude, why are you oppressing the Chinese people with your brand being made over there? Those guys are only making 10 cents an hour, dude. 10 cents a day. Why are you doing that? He might feel bad if we just had the nuts to have those conversations with these people. Just let's take a dramatic pause.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one. That was a good one. So, it's one other thing I want to bring up here quickly is that there are a couple of U.S. brands that are really overexposed to China. Broadcom, Qualcomm, Texas Instruments, and AMD. Their exposure in China is undoubtedly way over the top. And if a war were to break out with China, I don't even want to think about what's going to happen to those brands. So the bottom line question here is, does this generation of Americans take our freedom for granted? Our republic, our democracy, are we taking all this for granted because we never really had to pay for it? It's our parents that kind of had to go to war, right?
It's true.
So I'm wondering if we're kind of taking it for granted. We don't know it's one of those things where we don't know how great freedom is until we don't have it anymore.
And when you have an all-volunteer army fighting it for you, defending it for you, you're really insulated from it.
Yeah.
And the average person is.
And the other real question that beats me up is, why do we support and help financially develop an enemy, like the communist enemy? At least that's what we're hearing from the media, right? They build this up to be, David and Goliath here. But the question really, the deep down, there's a couple questions here, but will this eventually lead to the demise? Will overexposure in China ever lead to the demise of the U.S. dominance, Or is the cheap labor and the exploiting of the communist cheap labor what really makes America so dominant? Is that what makes us so wealthy? Is that the key? Dramatic pause.
Another good one. That was nice.
See? Got to add that element in. Okay. So that wraps it up. That's a very serious look. We know you guys wanted some serious, so you got it.
There better be something else. Next week, there better be something light and hearty in that fishbowl pick.
We mix it up.
I know.
We mix it up.
It's random. Again, it's random. I get it. But
that was the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka. And it was brought to you by, who were the dummies? Oh, yeah. By Fit In Gyms.
We don't know where they're at.
And by the way, with that, I mean, we can go to break here in a minute, but I'm telling you, it's all about the money. Must be the money. It's all about the money.
Oh, okay. It's halftime. A man was driving down the road when a policeman stopped him. The officer looked in the back of the man's trunk and said, "Hey, why are these penguins in your trunk?" Well, the man replied, "These are my penguins. They belong to me." "You need to take them to the zoo," the policeman said. Well, then the next day the officer saw the same guy driving down the road. He pulled him over again. He saw the penguins were still in the trunk, but they were wearing sunglasses this time. "I thought I told you to take these penguins to the zoo," the officer said. "I did," the man replied, "and today I'm taking him to the beach." Yes, that joke sucks, but a perfect joke for a Chumcast that sucks. So we're keeping suck together, okay? Hey, if you want to keep hearing sucky jokes, go out and visit don'tlistenchumcast.com and make a donation. Come on. You got to hear suck every now and then, and these jokes are perfect for a nice walk around the block and that stuff. Just listen to these stupid jokes, you know? These are horrible. It's a great match for this Chumcast. So go out, visit don'tlistenchumcast.com, follow us on Facebook, send us a message, donate, participate, keep suck with suck. Greatly appreciate it.
The Don't Listen Basic Chumcast.
Yo, fellas, drop the beat.
Just a bunch of time we'll never get back. Don't listen.
Welcome back. It is just crazy in here. We got the freaking Chinese spy balloons all over us today. Who knows what kind of data they're stealing?
They're trying to get into this Chumcast. Absolutely.
It's the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs. And you got to stick around. If you've made it this far in the show, you got to stick around. In the Chumcast, you got to stick around.
Got to stick around. Yes. Yes.
We
got a lot more sucking to do.
Well, first we got the suckage that people are going to reflect to us in Holla, which is, our feedback. All the feedback that we get, and by the way, you can contact us at the website, don'tlistenchumcast.com. Contact us and give us your feedback, what you're thinking about us, what you're thinking about the show. We'd appreciate it. So Holla, that's being brought to us by our friends over on 25th Avenue in San Mateo. Vinyl Solution Records.
Oh, yeah. Nice people.
Very good people. So Holla is coming up a little bit later. That's all your feedback. We've also got an 80s segment that we call More Cowbell. We're going to take a look at the raunchy 80s films, those great comedies like Porky's.
Oh, yes.
That's coming up. Those films actually made a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So that's coming up a little bit later. And right now it's time to get into One Bad Mutha, which is being brought to you today by People's Plumbing.
People's Plumbing. Yes, people cause plumbing issues. When that happens, call People's Plumbing.
That's one bad mother.
Okay, let's take a look. We're going to get inside the One Bad Mutha. This is the premiere of One Bad Mother.
Quite exciting.
And it's not One Bad Mother, it's One Bad Mutha.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure everyone's straight on that.
Spoken like a true ginger
True ginger.
with good teeth.
Okay. Jason Voorhees. We're talking about Jason Voorhees, the star of the Friday the 13th. What do they call that? That is like
Series or what, franchise.
franchises, the ding ding.
Not to be
chicken
confused
winner.
with Mike Myers, right, of Halloween fame, right? They're kind of the two. Jason Voorhees is the guy wearing the hockey mask,
Hockey mask, right.
right? Mike Myers is the William Shatner
It
mask.
started out with the potato sack. I got the whole
Was it
history.
really?
I got the whole history.
Well, lay it on these good folks out here because they're they are dying for useless information.
So Jason's first appearance was in it was on a Friday the 13th in 1980. The reason why this guy turned out to be a total psycho killer is because he was bullied by campers at Crystal Lake and they almost drowned him. And his only vulnerability is water. So Mrs. Voorhees, kill her, mommy. Remember her?
No, I'm not a fan of the movies.
Okay, she was a freak. The mom was, Mrs. Voorhees was freakier than Jason, I think. Well, after her son was bullied, she went back to the camp where she was a cook and she murdered the bullies. She took care of them. And the camp was closed after the murders and it was referred to as Camp Blood. And the camp was closed entirely until 1979. So there's a little bit of a backstory going on here. They actually took a little bit of time. This wasn't just blood and guts. They took a little bit of time to build in some context, right? I got to give them credit for that.
Okay, hey, I'm right with you so far.
So Jason, the character, was totally silent. He never spoke a word until Jason Goes to Hell, where his famous line was freeze.
That's interesting. And even a dramatic pause.
Up until, up until part 3, Jason wore a sack. We were referring to this. He wore a potato
So the
sack.
hockey mask was not in the first couple of them, huh? It was a potato sack.
Yeah, it was a potato sack until part 3. Jason wore a sack over his head, and that's where he got the hockey mask, right? The third installment. In the original film, Jason makes his first appearance at the very end, right? It's kill her, mommy, kill her, mommy, kill her, the whole time. The whole time. And it's the mom going nuts. But at the very end, the girl is on the canoe in the lake and it's all quiet and nice. You think everything's going to be good because she just killed Mrs. Voorhees. And then Jason goes popping out from the water and attacks her and pulls her in.
I thought he hated water, but that's a good one.
So he wasn't even the star of the first film.
Interesting.
He was at the very end. So that's when they got busy and they're like, oh yeah, Jason's going to be the man. So we knew Tommy. Remember the one with Corey Feldman? I don't know if you remember the one with Corey Feldman or not. But we knew that Tommy, there was no way that Tommy killed Jason forever. There was no way it was over in the final chapter because, a machete to the skull is not going to be nearly enough. But that was the first time. This is the fourth installment. That was the first time that we got to see Jason's face without the mask.
Really?
Corey Feldman.
Okay.
He was smoking dope, doing lines, drinking liquor with probably freaking Charlie Sheen, and he was starring in chapter 4 of Friday the 13th.
There you go.
But we knew he didn't kill him. It was a machete to the head.
Yeah, machetes don't do anything.
Oh, they hurt.
Oh, they'll leave a mark.
What else do we have here? The original, okay, here's a big stat. The original had a budget of $500,000.
Not bad for the original.
It did 60 mil. It's 60 mil. So word got out that was a pretty crazy movie. And I think it was all about the end. Everyone got freaked out at the canoe at the end when, and the whole, kill.
I am
You're like scared.
shaken.
You're like such a pussy, dude. I can't even believe it.
I can't watch those movies.
So let's see. Okay, so here's what's in the 12. There's been 12 total movies with the number 13 only fitting, right? That's only fitting that they have 13. They've been trying to find a way to make that get into theaters since 2009. That's how bad those movies have gotten. So since 2009, they're trying to get one last movie, the 13th of the Friday the 13th franchise, and they can't get it financed.
Falling short at number 12, right? It's just for a movie called Friday the 13th, right?
So they should change the title of the last film to Thursday the 12th. Oh, come on.
Oh, that was clever.
Let's get creative. So we're wrapping this thing up right here, but I'm going to say right now that his mom was the real freak. His mom, Mrs. Voorhees, was the one who freaked me out more than anybody else.
You know, and there was just on a side note, there was if you look through the credits, I think there's always a Voorhees, on a real Voorhees also on the set. Last name of like the best boy is somebody named Carl Voorhees or something like that. So there's always a Voorhees on that film.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The end credits. You got to read it. Everybody watches the end credits.
Not me.
You got to watch it.
The only time that I watch the end credits in a movie is when they're like showing the behind the scenes crap.
One of the girls on Saved by the Bell was the last name Voorhees. In real life.
Oh.
Yeah. Just saying. Anyway, I digress.
All right. So that was the premiere, actually, of what we like to call One Bad Mutha. And I like the fact that it was Jason Voorhees that we opened the gates with.
I tell you, he's taking machetes to the head.
You're all shook.
Yeah,
you're all shook.
Don't do well in these types of movies.
You get all your palms are all sweaty, your face is all shifty.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was One Bad Mutha, and it was brought to you by our friends at People's.
Oh yes, People's.
Where's the awesome sauce?
Unsubscribe, unfollow, and unplug.
This is how we party.
Don't listen.
Okay, welcome back. We're just about done. I know you're all very pleased to hear that, but I'm a little concerned because I can tell that Chinese spy balloon there in the corner seems to have some sort of a device in it that is focusing in on our classified documents. And if I want you to know, I'm looking at the Chinese spy balloon right now, pointing at it. And I want you to know, if you're recording this, the information on Jason Voorhees is classified. It's a classified document. So I'm
sure there's a lot of people in China wanting to know how to make a really sucky Chumcast.
They don't know what they're missing. They're trying to get all our secrets.
We are a perfect example how to make one that sucks.
So welcome back. It's the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast for a reason.
We are very basic.
We are very basic and very don't listen.
Yes, and a lot of head shaking in the booth right now.
So let's get right into it. Let's get into the more cowbell.
More cowbell. Hey, so far, a big hit across the board with people out there.
more cowbell.
Guess what? I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
So we're going to talk about raunchy 80s comedies, and today it's being brought to you by the Wee Ski Shop. And skiing up in Tahoe right now is off the freaking hook.
I know. I hear that. So why not? Let's bring in the Wee Ski Shop.
We Ski, they are good people. So someone's going to have to give me the script on this. Shebs, aren't you in charge of me getting these scripts?
Let me think about it. No?
Okay. Here it is. Thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you. God, she's like the only reliable. We actually they get paid.
She's the only one that likes you.
Dude, I don't like me. When I get under pressure situations,
I like you.
But you don't see.
But you have nice teeth.
Okay, it's never ending. Okay, the best.
Never ending. The guy who keeps saying Chinese spy balloons over and over again.
Well, they shouldn't have put him in here if they didn't want me to talk about it.
Talk about me saying like your nice teeth is too much. Please come.
Okay, it doesn't make much sense. It doesn't connect. I'm getting older. I'm losing my mind. So let's just get into the best of the raunchy comedies of the 1980s. I think that it's important to note that we're old, but I think it's pretty important to note that back in the 80s, we thought that the raunchier that you got, the better it was. Now, I know you had a problem with the whole gore and horror movie and all that, but what did you think about?
No, as a teenager, you went to see a movie to see a boob. You went to go see a movie.
Actual real boobs.
Yeah.
Dramatic pause.
And I like to say boobs again.
Actual real boobs were being showcased without judgment. Big, small, flat.
They got everybody in the theaters.
They were real. And we really wanted to see them. Natural.
This is all before the internet.
Oh my God. A beautiful thing. So we paid to see boning and boobs, not movies. If the word got out on the street, we were there.
Yes.
I'm not bashful. I'm going to admit the truth.
Yes, and talk about dramatic pause. Rent the VHS tape when it came out, yeah, and use the pause button a lot, yeah.
See, there you go. Honesty, open up. Go with the flow. So we definitely went to Blockbuster for skin flicks. I agree with you on that. There's no question about that. But deep down, I think we all have to admit that we're all a little bit raunchy. Deep down. Everybody.
Yeah, of course.
A little bit raunchy. So here's the list. Let's take a look at these raunchy movies that made a little money at the movies back in the 80s.
Here we go.
We're going to start with Tom Hanks, who used to be raunchy.
Oh, yeah.
Got his big break in Bachelor Party in 1984.
Bachelor Party. Oh, yes.
So Kelly McGinnis got fired in that movie. It only grossed $6 million, and Tom Hanks actually replaced Paul Reiser.
Ah.
Remember Paul Reiser?
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Yeah, Mad About You.
Porky's, 1981. It made, okay, so Tom Hanks, this is how the tide has changed. Tom Hanks comes out with Bachelor Party in 84 and it grosses $6 million. Porky's, nobody's in it in 81 and it makes $160 million. It's based on actual events. I know that's a big shocker. And this was all back in the day when an entire film about losing your virginity was the hottest movie in America.
You gotta love the Pee-wee.
Days are gone.
Pee-wee.
Hot Dog the movie was in, I need a t-shirt. Hot Dog the movie. I need that t-shirt. It was in 1984. It actually was pretty successful. It did $17 million, only 1 star. And that was Shannon Tweed. It was actually filmed here, Lake Tahoe at Squaw Valley, which is no longer called Squaw. And it featured a very racist scene called the Chinese Downhill. That film is never getting made again. Never. You're talking about Squaw Valley. It was called Squaw. That's racist, right? And Chinese Downhill scene is racist. So they're out. Once in a lifetime thing. You probably can't even rent it.
Probably not.
It's a racist movie. So then, let's see. I cut that one out. Okay. Oh, yeah. And then in 1982, we got Fast Times.
Oh, Fast Times. Yeah.
Come on. So if you see that movie
multiple levels, excellent movie.
If you see that movie on TV now, every good part of that movie is gone.
Yeah, it has to be.
From the language, you're barking up the wrong tree, dude. It does not have to be, but it is. because we live in this little, teapot. We live in this little, bubble. But 1982, it was a first-time director. It was a female director. First-time director, right? So masturbation and tits in one 5-minute scene. It was Nicolas Cage's first film. He was Brad's buddy, by the way, in case you don't know that. Next time you watch it, you gotta look quick. If you blink, you're gonna miss him. And all of the cast members were well over 18 years of age.
Yes.
None of them were close. My favorite was Phoebe Cates.
Oh, beautiful.
Just for that 5-minute scene.
Right.
She annoyed the shit out of everybody for the whole movie. She knew everything about sex.
And don't forget, also making their appearance in that movie is Bruce Springsteen's sister, Pamela Springsteen.
How could we forget that?
I'm just saying.
So obviously,
she was a cheerleader and, of course, didn't have any nude scenes, but,
Obviously, Bruce got all the fame of that family, huh? Because she got nothing.
Yeah. I think he
took it all.
I think he earned some fame. Yeah.
He was not sharing.
No, but there you go.
So let's see. Oh yeah, Police Academy. I wanted to mention
always, right?
Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah.
Who was the 80s, right? He was
every scene you're hoping like somebody's gonna take their shirt off, right? That's all he was after.
The whole thing with Guttenberg was great. Whatever. He was a great 80s guy. But the whole thing with Police Academy, they made one decent film. And they made 6 horrendous films.
Yeah.
I mean, just not even
and
worth
trying
sitting
the same
through.
jokes over and over and over and over and over.
And I don't care how much ass, how much tit, whatever they're showing. I wouldn't even care. You couldn't get through it. So that's the list of the raunchy comedies of the 1980s. So, I would tell you to get the Blockbuster, but you don't have to do that anymore.
No, just YouTube it.
You can YouTube it. You can still pause it.
Netflix it.
Oh, you can Netflix it since we're living in the modern era.
Yes, or wait till it comes around on Showtime.
But let's get it straight. None of those films are getting made today.
No.
Not one of them. So, that's why I love the 80s so much is we got to go like into the voodoo lounge.
Yes.
We got to experience all the stuff that was so taboo and voodoo that these kids can't, well, they probably could, but they're not experiencing now.
No.
We were living, actually, when I think about this, I think about living before life went off the PC deep end, brother. We were blessed. We lived life, dude. Let's face it. The 80s were the time to be a teenager.
It was. We set so many people up, so many generations up for greatness.
We ruined a lot of things for a lot of people with having a lot of fun in the 80s.
There you go.
And that was more cowbell. And let's mention the sponsor. It was brought to you by the Whiskey Shop.
Okay, right on.
Okay, and now we have reached the final segment of the show.
Holla.
Holla! 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 Holla!
Very exciting.
We actually have some correspondence here.
So yeah,
I have 2. They gave me 2.
Okay.
How many do you have?
So I don't know how many. I'm waiting. I've got all of this stuff. They just throw the classified documents.
And one's still from last time. It's that Stacy chick.
Oh, let's see. I got to mention she's telling me sponsor. So
Jesus.
The sponsor for Holla is the Vinyl Solution.
Oh, nice.
The record and CD shop down on 25th Avenue in San Mateo. Go down there and say hello to Tommy. He's great.
And Mindy from Indianapolis, make a trip out here. Go see Vinyl Solution.
Is she still heckling us?
No, she's nice. No,
Okay.
she's the nice one. It's this. Well, thank you, Stacy, for writing.
What did she write?
Well, she wrote another like a book here.
Okay,
I'm not reading this.
Well, yeah, read it, dude. I keep lobbying to get more of the F bombs and the we suck stuff. And do we have some of that going here?
No, she's trying to defend herself.
Oh, what did you say to her? I have nothing to do with those freaks.
I'm not responding to her. But Stacy, thank you for participating. Appreciate it. But there's, you're
not going to read it? You're not going to read it, are you? You look like you're all shook up again.
Well, I'm trying to summarize this.
Just read it. We're not here to take away people's voices. We're here to give them a voice.
She thinks I'm handsome.
Oh, really?
In so many words.
So let's hear the words. Does it start out with I'm Helen Keller? Does it start out, I'm emailing from the School of the Blind?
I'm off my meds. Yes, something like that. But I rather just move on to Joseph from San Francisco.
No way. You gotta give us that one. Okay. All right. God, you're all shook up, dude. No wonder you were scared going to Waterdog. Scared going to Waterdog, scared going to Circle Star.
Stacy, thank you very much for those compliments. Joseph from San Francisco, just a lot of question marks and WTF. So either he's commenting on the power poll or he has no idea what we're doing here. But Joseph, again, thank you for participating.
Is that the best we can do?
That's what they gave me. What do you have?
Okay, I've got Jenny. Jenny is from San Diego. And, she's actually positive here. She says, more cowbell? Hell yeah. I love the 1980s. So that's pretty good. They blacked out a bunch of stuff underneath here. So hang on.
Why is that?
So, hey, can we get, who's this guy here? Who's this guy? Eric? Eric. Hey, come here. So in the future, we're going to do this together. And we're going to let these people, they're not going to take the time out of their life to send us an email if we're going to edit it and not make it their real voice. Are you with me on this, Shebs?
Yeah, I think Daniel also was involved with that too. So.
Okay. Both you idiots. Don't hand me something when everything's all blacked out. Or you're going to have to give me the password so I can get in there and do it myself. We'll let you go. We're the ones stroking the check. That's the way you have to talk to these kids. Eye contact is very important, Shebs.
They're trying to produce. They're trying to
hard.
They're trying to give you a nice quick summary, except for Stacy.
See, this one's got blacked out stuff too, and I think this is because I'm not going to talk about it. So the Brandon from DC, shocked, damn good shit, boys. And I can only tell he said shit here because they didn't black it all the way out. I can see part of the S and part of the T. So I know that that's what that is. Shocked. Damn good shit, boys. But is this really you guys? Wow. Just wow. See, that's a good one. That's a real voice. They're trying to blot that out too. So here's Jules. Jules from Denver. Can't believe, oh yeah, I remember her. Can't believe after all the changes and all the challenges, all the craziness, that you two stuck it out and worked with it. And here we are. You two are such a unique pairing. Great chemistry. See?
That was nice. Why do you get the nice ones?
Dude, we needed to step up. We need to be more in charge. That's all they gave me. And I know for a fact that there were far more people that emailed us this week. So if you have something to say to us, go ahead and say it. Don't be bashful. Hit us up at contact. When you hit the webpage, it's don'tlistenchumcast.com, or you can also give us your comments on our Facebook page, where you should be liking us anyway, or following us, because we do a lot of crazy shit there too. A lot of stuff that you can interact with. But the website is don'tlistenchumcast.com. We've got the What the Fuck Power Poll there. We've got an opportunity for you to donate by hitting the Venmo. We have the opportunity for you to discuss what's on the What the Fuck Power Poll, and so much more. So it's don'tlistenchumcast.com. Give us the feedback. Give it to us for real.
Yes, and not like Stacy here, who's going off on,
oh God,
when my friend introduced me to you guys for the first time, I knew you both were someone special.
Yeah.
You do not realize the joy and happiness that I felt when your show was announced. I was very happy to know that I had found a gem like you guys. I would like to welcome you into my family. I am very happy to have
oh my God. Okay.
So I'm just trying to make sense of this, so I don't understand it. So
those are some of the best correspondence that we get.
But it goes on and on. So that's Stacy from Gilroy. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And that was Holla. And that was brought to you by our friends at the Vinyl Solution down on 25th Avenue in San Mateo. And that's the Chumcast. So thank you for joining us. We'll check you out next time.
Thank you.
And remember, everything that we want is on the other side of fear.
Bye, Felicia.
Don't listen. A Basic Chumcast has been an exclusive presentation of Whetstone Entertainment in association with Is Chill Productions. Subscribe, follow, like, and share us while on your favorite social media hangouts and our YouTube channel. We're not into begging, but if you like us, review us and support us by continuing to check us out on your favorite podcast platforms. Find more fun and hit us with your feedback at don'tlistenchumcast.com.
Yeah, that's fantastic.